Vos decís caos. Está bien.
You're talking about chaos and you're talking about crisis.
Crisis. ¿Sabes de dónde viene la palabra?
Do you know where the word crisis comes from?
Se cosechaba el trigo, se pasaba por una zaranda. Se
When
cribaba.
when you
Cribar.
it's when you sift
En las personas
flour,
es eso. Situaciones
it's
de
the
la vida,
sifter, and
acontecimientos,
the crisis within a person is like
problemas
this.
orgánicos,
So
fluidos,
when
o mal
things
humor,
happen in
buen humor,
life, problems that we have,
y vos tenés que elegir.
you have
Una
to
vida
choose.
sin crisis es una vida séptica.
A life without crisis
¿A vos te
is
gusta tomar agua?
is a
¿Te
life
gusta?
that doesn't have
Si yo te doy
color.
agua
Do you,
destilada, vas a decir, un asco.
you like to drink water?
Agua
If
destilada
I
es un
give
agua
you
sin
distilled
crisis.
water, you wouldn't like it.
Una vida sin crisis es como el agua
Distilled water
destilada.
is water without crisis.
tiene
So
sabor a
a life
nada.
without crisis is like distilled water. It
No
doesn't
sirve
have
para
taste or
nada.
anything. It
Sino
doesn't.
para
It's
guardarla en el
useless.
ropero y cerrar la puerta.
It's only you can. It's only worth keeping.
Las crisis
That's
hay que
it.
asumirlas.
The crisis. We need to assume crises, and we need
Quedarse
to
en la
resolve
crisis
them.
tampoco es bueno, porque es un suicidio continuo.
And
Es como un
to
estar
create a crisis isn't
girando,
good.
girando, ¿no?
That
Las
that would
crisis
be
hay que
like just
encaminarlas, hay
staying
que asumirlas.
like a dog trying to catch its tail.
Raramente solo. Y eso también es importante en el grupo de escuela. Caminar juntos para
It's also
enfrentar crisis
good to
juntos,
confront
resolver
crises
cosas
together
juntos, seguir adelante
so
y
that
crecer juntos.
we're not alone in them and we move forward and we can grow this way.
Aunque sea para comer una
Good,
feijoada.
good. Keep moving ahead.
Nestes 2 últimos meses trabalhámos muito para conseguir fazer o mural que viu lá fora, mas este mural realmente representa o caos. O caos que muitas vezes, quando o vivemos e quando o vivemos de perto, não o compreendemos e é uma grande confusão, parecem só linhas aleatórias. Mas a verdade é que chega um ponto em que nós nos distanciamos. E nessa distância começamos a
Once again, we're hearing the theme chaos, and that chaos sometimes hits us in the face. We don't know how to respond to it.
Muitas vezes apenas vemos ou apenas sentimos, mas sim conseguimos expressá-lo. E para mim, por exemplo, foi uma experiência muito grande, porque também já vivi momentos de muito caos na minha vida, acho que todos nós vivemos.
It sounds like she's saying that she has experienced a lot of chaos in her life,
Verdadeiramente aberta para ouvir, para partilhar, para acolher.
and she's been trying to reflect on how to
Foi privilégio para nós, acho que mais
respond
do que
to
para nós que
chaos.
estamos aqui, facilitámos isso ter acontecido. E tudo isto porque buscamos este sentido, e todos nós buscamos este sentido profundo de perceber.
And she's been trying to understand how to respond to chaotic situations.
Queríamos perguntar-lhe o que tipo enquanto passou neste mural. O que
It seems like the mural itself is an expression of how these young people have been reflecting on the theme of chaos.
Ao início ou ao fim, não sabemos. E antes de responder, queríamos também.
It looks like part of it is the creation event where, as we know, chaos is one of the words used in the translation of the account. And so in everyone's name, they're offering the gift of a paintbrush to the Holy Father, which they would have used to create this mural. There's someone who said that the journey of man and women, of human life, is to create out of chaos the cosmos, to move from what is disordered and chaos to create a cosmos out of it. something that has meaning, but it's open, it's inviting, and inclusive. And I don't want to become a catechist here, but if we look at the structure of the narration of creation, it's mythical. And out of myths, it's a way of knowing. It's a way of creating meaning. And so whoever created that creation myth, in parentheses, that person wrote it many, many years after the experience of creation itself. And it was actually written many, many years after the Exodus experience. And so they were reflecting on how that chaos was transformed, and they're using a very poetic language to understand how God one day creates the light and then continues to create other things, transforming the chaos into the cosmos. And in our lives, the same thing happens. There are moments of crisis, and they're chaotic. And someone might even know if they're on their feet, and sometimes they're dark moments. And this is the personal work that a person goes through, but also we're helped by people who accompany us in order to create this cosmos. There's a lot of, and even in the Sistine Chapel, we see how the cosmos is created out of the chaos, but we also see it among you. Never forget this. Out of a chaos, a cosmos can come out, and this is everyone's journey. A life that remains at a chaotic level is a life that never conquers, but one who's never experienced crisis or chaos is a distilled life. Everything's perfect. It's a distilled life. It doesn't give life. And it's a way of dying, but there's life where there's chaos. A life that is transformed into a cosmos.
Muchas gracias, Papa Francisco, por tus palabras. Gracias. É uma alegria para nós concluir assim este caminho, mas apesar desta experiência terminar,
it's a joy for us to conclude this journey with the hope that what we have painted will not end, but will open another path.
Uma experiência e uma expressão da vida que nasce de tantas realidades diferentes.
Each part of the mural has been an experience. It's a synthesis of the artistic world and the virtual world. And so they're going to be unveiling the last part of the mural.
Papa Francisco, el video, el pincel virtual que hablaba Eugenia, es un arma para la paz.
And what he's holding up is a virtual paintbrush.
Pero en vez de matar, con esta pincelada que vas a
He
dar
said
en la pared,
it seems like a pistol, but because you have to press a button, it kind of looks like a gun. But when you press it, it gives you access to the virtual world.
un artefacto en Mozambique, en Tofo, para ver tu pincelada que vas a hacer ahora y seguirla en el mundo virtual. Porque los jóvenes
And
quieren
so
que seas
all
vos
over
el
the
que una
world,
el mundo
other
físico
people will be able
con el
to
mundo
see the
virtual,
Pope's
para que el mundo
paint
virtual
strokes all
pueda
over the
ejercer
world.
concreto
And
y
so
comprometido con
in
la
this
patria.
way we can see how the virtual world can unite. And so this is a digital paintbrush that the Holy Father, it seems, will be using in order to paint something on the mural, in order to give him the possibility of painting, and And this, and now he's trying out this. Oh, we see him. It actually paints on the wall. The Pope is enjoying himself as he has used the paintbrush, virtual paintbrush, with green paint, and he's adding his own touch to the mural on the wall. And those who are here now are expressing their applause. Here, too, is the President of the Republic, it seems, who's been accompanying the Holy Father throughout the trip. He was also present yesterday, or this morning, rather, with the university students at the University of Portugal. The gift now is being presented of an icon. It's the story of the Good Samaritan. None of us are exempt from being a good Samaritan. The Holy Father is saying each one of us should be a good Samaritan. And the Good Samaritan, we can see on the ground. But we also see those who passed by first, the Levite and the priest, and they went by in a hurry. And they didn't pay any attention to the man on the ground. They couldn't touch him because there was blood. And according to the law of that time, anyone who touched blood was impure and had to purify himself. And so that impeded anyone with blood. It was a person couldn't touch them. So this is the gift that we see our Holy Father will be leaving with the headquarters. How many times we prioritize legal purity to getting near to other people. The Good Samaritan at that time would have been an idea that was really strange. And yet, this other person who is coming, he may have been a merchant. He sees the man and he feels compassion. I'm going to ask you a question. What makes you feel compassion? Or do you have a really dried up, shriveled heart that you can't feel compassion? And so what happened? The man brings the wounded man to an inn. And he found a room for the man, and he says, "Look, I'll be back after a few days, and I'll leave this money with you, and if there's something else that I need to pay later." This is someone who paid well. So there's the Good Samaritan who took care of the person, and then we also see the other two with their backs are kind of turned away so that they don't get impure. And Jesus he's pointing to the person who had compassion. This person is near to the reign of kingdom because he had compassion. Where am I here in this picture? Am I helping the person? Or am I dirtying my hands? At times in life, we need to get our hands dirty. in order not to get our hearts dirty. Our Holy Father explaining to the young people here the icon that he's leaving as his gift to the headquarters of Scholas Occurrentes here in Cascais in Portugal.
Pero ustedes me prometen desearme bendición a mí después.
And he's giving them a blessing, but he's saying, that I want you to promise that you will also bless me.
O nosso auxílio vem do Senhor. Abençoe-vos, Deus Todo-Poderoso, Pai, Filho, Espírito Santo. Recen por mí.
Pray for me. And if you can't pray, or if you don't feel that way to pray for me, send me good thoughts. Our Holy Father, surrounded here with this mural that we've been hearing about from these young people who themselves have painted it.
A nos acompanhar para a bendição da videira, ritual da escola e símbolo do encontro entre mundos diferentes.
And so there was a final greeting. And they're going to be greeting him outside. It seems like this is something that they do here at this place. So they'll be greeting the Holy Father forward, as is their custom. Our Holy Father taking place in this unscripted meeting with young people who partake of the movement that he himself had a hand in establishing in Buenos Aires. Our Holy Father also this morning, when he celebrated Mass in private, met with the family of a woman who came from France who died suddenly in an accident where she was staying in Lisbon. So our Holy Father himself being the Good Samaritan to this family who suddenly lost their loved one, a 62-year-old catechist who came to Lisbon for World Youth Day and instead died accidentally. We now hear the farewell, customary, of Scholas Occurrentes.
Senhor, leva tudo o que é meu. São alegrias e são tristezas. São os meus dias, toda a beleza que sempre encontro em meu viver. Senhora, venho agradecer. Senhora, venho agradecer o amor que sinto em seu olhar, calma que encontro em seu escutar. Senhor, aceita o meu recado. Senhora, leva tudo que é meu. Assim me encontro ajoelhado. Assim me dou ao Filho teu. sinto em seu olhar, calma que encontro em seu escutar.
The Holy Father is now leaving the building where he's been meeting with the young people from Scholas Occurrentes. He's now with the president or the director of this particular facility. His name is Jose Maria del Corral, and together with Pope Francis, they're giving the finishing touches to the planting of this olive tree. It's a symbol of peace.
Muito obrigada, Cuca, embaixadora das escolas em Portugal, por nos acompanhar com o teu talento desta origem deste espaço. E se falamos de origem, falamos de dois grandes símbolos de escolas, Oliveira e a bola de cá, sinônimo de gratidão e beleza.
The song that we heard is one characteristic of greeting in Portugal. People from the area were in a neighborhood, and other people have been watching from the windows in the areas. Some children have just approached the Holy Father, and the Pope Francis is autographing. It looks like a ball, but it has something wrapped around it. So some child here in Portugal now has an autographed ball. A handball, I think it's a handball, which is very popular in Portugal. And our Holy Father now taking the microphone, who is blessing the olive tree that he's helped plant, give the finishing touches to the planting of this olive tree. And now with a watering can, he's also giving it a bit of water. There's a hole dug in the ground, and the olive trees are still in the original pots from the nursery, and so those will be transferred now. There's a few different olive plants now that we see it from a bit from a distance. So it looks like they'll have a few olive trees that will be planted there. And from we can get the feel of the surrounding town. And we hear now the singing of the Ave Maria.
Dando alegria, Nosso Senhor convosco está, e a nós nos dá todo o seu amor. Rogai por nós, os pecadores, das nossas dores, ouvi a voz, e na agonia, quando chegar, seja.
At this point, our Holy Father is being aided back into the car. He will be traveling by car back to the Apostolic Nunciature, where he will dine in private. It's just about 11:15 right now in Portugal. Father with a beautiful smile on his face as he waves goodbye as the car begins to take him back on his journey to the Apostolic Nunciature. Those who have met with him now taking their leave of him as well. Again, here we see it. He's been meeting in the neighborhood of Cascais. As we said, a port town, a tourist destination that also became the home to the last exiled king of Italy when the Republic of Italy was formed. And as we see these last images here from Cascais, we now bring this live broadcast to an end. This is the second event of the Pope's second day on his 42nd apostolic journey here to Portugal, where he has met with students who participate in the Scholas Occurrentes program, of which he himself founded when he was the Cardinal Archbishop of Buenos Aires. We invite you back at 4:45 local Portugal time, when we will be broadcasting the World Youth Day welcome ceremony from Eduardo VII Park in our continuing coverage of Pope Francis's 42nd apostolic journey. I invite you to visit the Vatican News web portal, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter accounts, where you will always find coverage of all Pope Francis events during his apostolic journey. And on behalf of Vatican Media, thank you to Daniele Giorgio, our coordinator, and Jean-Charles Pozzolou, and for all who've made this broadcast possible. Laudetur Jesus Christus, praised be Jesus Christ.
Fotografia foi pra